ask.
Yeah, same. I'm like trying to get your Instagram up so I can at least see comments.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, it is not letting me go live.
It is. You are not live there.
Oh no. Let me see. Changes.
Sorry, everybody. But I feel like we should just expect this is how things happen now. Like,
Yeah,
people don't know what they're doing.
That's
and
about
there's
right.
mistakes. Okay, let's try that. Well, maybe we won't go live on Instagram.
And that's, I mean, not that all my listeners are clamoring to come watch, but that is where I told them to go. So
Okay.
they'll just have to.
Well, let me try one more time. I don't know.
Okay.
Heather's here.
Argentina happy hour.
And we can also do a few more too, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we should for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have to know who these people are.
I've got to know who I'm drinking wine with.
I know. It'll just be more fun because we'll know each other better.
Yeah.
You know, it's always
that's
awkward
really
to
true.
go to these things without knowing anybody.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I happen to know at least 2 people going. Oh, and I know Wendy. We know Wendy, so.
And now we know Heather.
And now we know Heather. So we are going to be up to knowing almost half the people going.
Yeah.
And I think I might have fixed it. Let's see. Maybe. Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Jennifer.
We're in.
All right. Oh, yep, there you are. I just got my notification. Okay.
We are live. And we have a bunch of people in the waiting room, which is very exciting. But what we thought would be cool, because obviously now the trip is booked, this is actually happening.
Oh my gosh. Wave of anxiety.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Wave of anxiety. As soon as the confirmed one came in, I was like, oh.
I had already booked my airfare, and then I was like, wait, what if this doesn't happen?
You are daring.
You really are. It's insane.
No, stupid. But we thought it would be fun for everyone to get to know each other, whether you have already booked and will be joining us, or whether you were thinking about booking and maybe have some anxiety around it. And so we're going to pop on everyone in the waiting room, but everyone has the link. You can come on, and you don't have to be on video. You don't even have to talk. You can eavesdrop. So if you just want to be on and you want to turn your camera off, that's fine too. There are no rules. We just want everyone to be able to hang out and get to know each other. And I hate icebreakers, but I feel like we kind of have to do one. So I guess as I let people in, we'll do it one at a time. You can introduce yourself and say what you're most excited about. That feels very corporate-y, sorry. And Jennifer Mason, you are the unfortunate person who is up first. Hi, Jennifer.
Fantastic.
Hello.
Here's one of my puppies. This is Lorelei. She is dying to go outside, and it's 105 degrees in Texas, and she can't go outside. So,
girl, same.
So what am I most excited about? So I have done lots of traveling in my past. I was extremely fortunate with my job to be able to travel the world, but I have never been to Argentina or Chile. And I have a friend who just came back from Argentina. She went with a group from her local winery there. And she was telling me how fantastic the wine was. And then this trip popped up, and I was like, I have to do it. I've been following true crime bullshit for years, and I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited. Well, I guess I feel bad. Someone's just going to be Hillary, Judas, prepare yourself. You're up next.
Josh is just calling on people. Hello.
Hello. Hi, I'm Hillary Judas. I'm super excited I love to eat. I love to drink. I've never been to South America, and I'm excited to make new friends.
Yay!
Yay!
All right, Elizabeth, prepare yourself.
Ready.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Elizabeth Raymond. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I too love traveling. I have been to Peru and weirdly enough, Venezuela because I didn't know you weren't supposed to go there. But, and I love wine, but I don't know about y'all. I too have been listening to true crime bullshit. I think I found you during the pandemic, and weirdly enough, you were very soothing, talking about the most horrible serial killer ever. But people just don't understand my interest, and it's mainly because, like, Josh, like, talking to you like we're friends, but yeah, it's really nice to meet you. But the fact that fucking Keys, it wasn't just torturing people, it was torturing the families left behind, and just the compassion that I feel for these people who don't have answers. And I know that y'all have, I suspect you have similar beliefs and concerns, and so it'll be nice to be in a beautiful place of the world, drinking delicious wine, but also, with people who have similar interests. It's rare to find. And I'm a psychologist. You'd think we'd be more.
Ooh, I love that.
Ooh.
All right, Heather, prepare yourself. Hi, Heather.
Hello.
Hi, Heather. She did say earlier she might have to relocate.
Okay. Well, we will pause Heather for now. Michaela, prepare yourself. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry. This is I'm at the moment in Bilbao, so it's 3 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
That's so nice of you to hop on.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
I was very curious about like who is gonna be here. So I was like, I'm on a holiday, so it's not like I have to wake up early.
Great job.
It's
So-
yeah,
So you had to take a break in your vacation to talk about your next vacation?
Vacation.
exactly.
That's my kind of living.
You're living the life.
Exactly. Yeah, and I guess I should introduce myself, or
Yep.
yeah. So I'm originally from Slovakia, and I live in Berlin. And yeah, I actually used to be a documentary producer and true crime. I mean, yeah, as a documentarian, true crime was one of my interests. So, and I think with podcasts, I was always into serial killers. It's not something I I picked up lately. It was an interest of mine in a way, and thanks to podcasts, I realize I'm not the only one, and yeah, thank you for your podcast. Also, Charlie, I started listening to yours.
I appreciate that.
Thanks to Josh's recommendations.
Thank you, Josh, once again.
And yeah, I have to say, Josh, you're doing amazing work as a documentarian and investigator, and I'm also like super interested in the work of in the ethics that you started to talk about more. And so yeah, and South America is amazing. I have never been to Chile or Argentina. I have been to Brazil and Bolivia. So I was like, okay, I am a hiker. I love hiking. So Andes, yay.
Awesome.
Love that.
All right, we have two more people. Heather looks like she's ready. Heather, prepare yourself. Hi.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
about
you
all
made
this.
it.
I made it in this crazy hotel. Thank you for your patience. Sorry to be in and out.
No worries. So tell us what you're excited about.
I'm excited about people who are excited to travel, drink wine, and talk about true crime, especially a specific case. You know, I'm excited to talk to people who are excited about things. Anyone who's passionate about anything, I'm interested in that. And I'm excited to hear perspectives and thoughts and, I don't know, make new friends. It's going to be really cool. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
I apologize for background noise. I'm so sorry. I'm in a Westmark lobby. Who knows what the fuck's going to happen? I mean,
That's okay. You're welcome here.
thank you.
With that kind of mouth, you're welcome here.
Fine. So Melissa, you are dark and muted, so I'm going to let you in, and you just tell us if and when you're ready.
Hi. No, I'm the on the fence thinking about it anxiety person. So I figured I'd just check it out, see who's going, what the vibe is like. I think the Mary Cosby video is pushing me closer.
Oh no.
Because I'm like, these are my people.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
If you want Bravo, I mean, all of us. Charlie is a late converter on the Bravo-holic side, but she went all in with 100% passion. So
with the
she's
franchises I chose. I'm
Yes.
picky with my franchises.
Me too.
The main thing is I have a lot of children and only so much time.
I can guarantee we will spend as much time talking about the sociopaths on Bravo as we do.
well, I watch every single iteration of Housewives that I possibly can. So I can talk about it all.
Me too. I'm excited to be in a Sprinter van. It'll be an experience.
We'll be like going home. Well, what now? I guess the three of us should play by our own rules. I am Josh, and I've always wanted to go. Well, I love Malbec. It's my second favorite varietal, and I've always wanted to go to Uruguay. And so when this trip popped up, it was
like close enough.
I was like, that's a quick 4-hour flight. Let's do it. So I'm excited. Valparaiso is they call it the San Francisco of South America. So I'm excited to see that. And I grew up outside of Napa, and I love wine. This is tailor-made.
Yeah, I've never been further south than Honduras, so I'm very excited to venture even farther. I apparently don't know how globes work though, because I didn't realize how far. Well, I was like, it's just South America. It's right there. It is not. And so I do have a little bit of travel anxiety over such a long flight, but if people are coming from even farther away, maybe I need to just calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I love wine, which is like my favorite thing in the whole entire world. Malbec is also one of my top 5 wines, I'll say. And I have never traveled internationally. Like, I've only been to Canada and that's it. And so I'm really excited that I get to do this with my bestest friends and now all of you who are coming, because it is going to be a great time. You've never traveled with us together, and I will tell you that
some people call it fun.
Yes, some people call it fun. We do have a great time, and you'll find your person very quickly, and like our group it's just going to be a lot of fun. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I'm sorry, are you saying that Canada doesn't count?
Not for me.
We count.
I have to blame somebody, so I might as well blame Canada. If you get the reference.
Throw it out there. I've said it a bunch, but I'm an introvert, so like I will take time for myself, and I think that's what I love about this itinerary is we'll all have time to like do our own things too. I get people down pretty quickly, so I love the fact that we can all hang out, grab dinner, do these little activities, talk true crime, and then like I usually just end up in my room watching Below Deck for like 5 hours and drinking wine in bed. But I think there's like great opportunities to like do our own things, which is cool.
When we were in North Carolina for my birthday weekend, I was in Josh's cabin and he looks at me, he goes, "I'm thinking a nap, right?" And I'm like, you're telling me to leave. And he's like, "Well, I mean a nap before dinner. We'll get back like at 6." And I'm like, "You're not even going to sleep. You're just going to watch TV." And I was like, "Fine, I'll go. I'm such an extrovert." I was like, I guess I'll just go FaceTime somebody. Jeez. So I'll be in the hotel lobby looking for someone to talk to the entire trip.
Yeah, if you're up, I'm up. So, but I have a limit. I'm like, I'll probably go to sleep at some point. I'm gonna work on staying up later and working on that because I have a 3-year-old. So when she goes, I go. So we'll see how that plays out with
All
the
that
time
said,
difference.
I
Yeah.
will be the late night person.
Oh
and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
True Crime Podcast Festival, I don't think I went to bed before 3 a.m.
We actually we said, let's go to bed. And I went up to my hotel room in the elevator with Josh, and he went to his hotel room, and I'm getting into bed, teeth brushed, retainer in, and I get a text from Josh saying, drinks in my room, ? And I'm like, we're in bed. What are we doing? He apparently changed his mind. So yes, the late night is definitely going to be Josh.
Yes. 100%.
Because he took a nap in the middle of the day. He's fine.
Yeah.
How many? May I ask a question? And I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I don't even know if these are working. I'm so
No,
sorry.
we hear you.
You're
You
good.
can hear me okay? I apologize for any and all technical issues. How many of you are going to the festival at the Berkshires? I'm really excited
be
to
there.
meet you guys.
Not.
There's
The
only so many.
podcasters are going.
Yeah.
Oh
That
yeah,
much
the
I figured.
podcast.
I just was like very excited to meet you guys in person.
Yes, it'll be so. I mean, it's beautiful over there, but
Mhm.
last year when we went, it was just so much fun, and you truly. I mean, I think you'll probably get the same vibes when we go to Chile and Argentina because we're gonna be around the same group of people who are enthusiastic about what we're discussing and all of that. So it'll be a great time, and then you'll get to see us out of our element with our masks off a little bit and go
We can
like,
be
yeah, I want to be with those
Real
people.
people.
Can be eye-opening.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the fun thing about like these intimate events because True Crime Podcast Festival is fairly intimate, Berkshire Podcast Festival, and then this will be super intimate. Is like you realize like we will talk true crime, but you kind of it spans that, and you get to be real people and have fun and let your hair down. So I'm excited to like just have real conversations with people who also like true crime.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool things planned too for breaking away a little bit from keys while we're there to kind of open up a little bit more on other cases and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that too because I can get enveloped in keys really quickly because I'm a listener first. So I listen to Josh's. Actually, I listen to both of my friends' podcasts. Almost all of my friends' podcasts.
She's not a fake
Oh,
fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fake friend. So I'm so excited too because if you are going to the Berkshire Podcast Festival, you also get to meet the Somewhere in the Pines boys, and I absolutely love them. And also I appreciate how they're laying out their show. I think it's really insightful and really great. Honestly, if you haven't listened to it, you definitely should. It's an incredible show.
Oh my God! What else will we listen to?
Yeah.
During the true crime bullshit.
Nothing else on.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love
So
it.
good.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I appreciate that Joshua falls down a lot,
Yes.
but with love.
I actually went out into the field with them a few weeks ago, and I fell down, and Josh's wife fell down. So
Oh my God.
I think I found my people. So
So what's
what?
everybody drinking?
Oh yeah.
We brought a happy hour, so what are we drinking?
Lars, my husband, is the cocktail master, and he made me a smoky Paloma. So it's like a regular Paloma, but it is half mezcal, half tequila, rather than all tequila. And the mezcal brings the smoky too. Anyway, yeah. I instructed the bartender at TCPF how to make the drink like Lars.
Very love that. I'm drinking water because my birthday's in a week and a half.
Oh, gotta rest up.
We tend to go very hard. I'm one of those birthday monsters that like has 5 parties. So just want to like prepare myself emotionally, psychologically.
Love that. I am just drinking a Topo Chico because I wanted something very cool and refreshing because I too am in Texas and I'm also sitting in my booth, so no AC on in here. And so I just need to stay dehydrated and hydrated at the same time.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I am in Texas and I have a cherry limeade Coke Zero.
I'm just doing water. I was out too late last night.
I have an Alaskan brewing company called King Street Brewing. First time I've had one, and it's all right. And I'm in the lobby of the hotel, so I'm brown bagging it.
Amazing. a very, very cheap Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. I thought about trying to get something from Chile or Argentina, and I was like, you know what? I'll just be there in a few months.
So I am curious. Because to me, like, all I think is like, oh, wine tasting, but there are other activities. What is everyone excited about? Because like the Valparaiso trip, I think is the one I'm most excited about.
Yes.
Same. Yeah.
Same.
I'm really excited to go out to the coast, but also we're doing that cable car thing over Santiago, which I'm like really excited about. And then I'm like, well, how high is it? Like, do they have like measurements on? Like, can I Google that first? But I'll do it. Lainey might have to hold my hand, but I'll do it.
I'm
excited
hold anybody.
about it.
Josh can attest to this. I will hold you, no problem. Okay, so if you need a cuddle buggy, I will give you a cuddle buggy. Consensually. That's the most important part. I don't want any stories going out to Rolling Stone after this, okay? So just make sure it's consensual.
I did one in Switzerland and it scared the bejesus out of me, but I am so glad that I did it because
Switzerland.
just the things you get to see are amazing.
Yeah.
I did the one
We'll
in
hold
Banff,
your
and that
hand.
was beautiful. So
Yes.
I will
We're not
happily
old
do
man.
that again.
I did the one in Seoul, very hungover. In fact, I threw up in line. Waiting for the
Oh.
Still,
You did. Oh Lord.
I don't know what I'm looking forward to the most. Peru was just amazing for the like Machu Picchu and the ruins, but that's not what this trip is. I'm really curious about the food. And then I have a friend who was from Santiago, and she looked at the itinerary. She's like, "Yeah, y'all are doing it right." So, thanks y'all for putting that together. But I'm just
thanks, tour guide.
Thank you for planning.
It looks like a great itinerary. I too sound like you're an introvert. I'm an ambivert, which like right on the cusp. I can get super extroverted and then be like, oh, I need some me time. So the pacing of the trip looks really good. And again, I don't mind traveling by myself, but it is also really fucking cool to be with like-minded people interested in seeing the same places and talking about the same things.
Is anyone staying then longer, or because I'm planning then too, as I'm in Europe and flying to South America is not just like very daily thing. So I'm planning to basically be there like for a month and probably thinking of going down to Patagonia as well. So
oh wow, that'd be amazing.
Most of us don't get that much time off of work here in America. But I do know one of the other travelers who's probably not here because she's in the UK and it's very late for her, Wendy, who we know through podcasting. She is coming from the UK, and I know she said she's planning more too. So I think she's also planning to do more sightseeing. I kind of debated it, but I just don't know that I have that much time to go.
I'm
I don't know.
going 2 days early, and I'll either do those in Santiago or Valparaiso. I haven't decided yet. And then after the trip, I'm spending 2 days in Buenos Aires and then 4 days in Uruguay and wine country.
Sweet. I was thinking about Uruguay because it's like it's right there.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. The architecture, the food. It's very like Napa on the coast. Yeah.
Is Josh? Will there be like a chat or somewhere where we can compare notes and perhaps talk about travel?
We should do like a WhatsApp or something.
Because I'd love to travel rather than alone.
Same.
Thank you, Heather. That is a brilliant idea. We'll put together a WhatsApp.
Awesome.
I have all your email addresses, so I'll just email you once we're at some point. Maybe Charlie, you should be in charge of this because if it's left in my hands, it'll
true.
Too much.
She's way more responsible than all of us.
Josh is in charge of emailing, and I'm in charge of reminding Josh to email. Like, I might as well just email, right?
See, we all have our strengths for this trip.
Many
That's why we're here.
I'm planning a new season, a podcast festival, a birthday party. I'm very busy.
There's some stuff going on.
Yes, I really have like nothing happening in my life. It's fine. It's
Just for
fine.
children. That's it.
I only have
and
6
that's
kids. It's fine.
not even enough to keep you busy anymore. You only have 2 real ones now.
I only have 2 real kids.
Yeah.
The rest are fake.
The rest are fake kids. Moving out.
Jesus,
I'm
Is everyone-
excited
that?
about
Can you
like
tell them
if
to
I'll
do
stay
that?
longer. Like somebody already went to Bolivia. That's where I want to go. But I don't know. I mean, like somebody else said, if you're in South America, you might as well.
Be
I
there.
know.
can. And I, go on. Sorry,
My inclination is to go to Rio de Janeiro because I've never been there and
never
do,
been to Brazil.
you know, yeah. And I just kind of think maybe if I added something on, it would probably be that. But I'm not sure. I have to
I
figure it out.
sincerely recommend Brazil.
Mhm.
I've been twice, and I have been always in Rio de Janeiro as well.
Mhm.
Like, I went also to Brasilia and Blumenau, but Rio de Janeiro is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been. I mean, it's also one of the like more conflicted ones because you know the favelas, the poverty, and then on the other hand, the richness and the class differences. But anyway, it's beautiful and the
Yeah.
food is amazing.
I love bird watching, and I'm contemplating Uruguay because hiking and birds. Anyone?
Ooh,
Anyone?
yeah.
Ooh, I am obsessed with birds, Heather. Do you take photos of them?
I do. I try. I have a find app that's really awesome called Merlin, and it's brilliant because you just get it to record. Oh my gosh, you guys are actually in my ears now. I'm not. I apologize. I'm so sorry. A cacophony. And so it's called Merlin, and it's by Cornell. They put it out. It's brilliant because you just hit record, and it'll delineate what bird is singing, and it's amazing.
Oh,
And
wow.
I cannot recommend it
Cool.
enough if you're into
My
birds.
husband
Other than
got-
Panama, I'd like to go to Uruguay. Pardon me.
Yeah, my husband got me for Christmas. It's basically a very expensive bird feeder, but it has like a Ring camera on it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when the birds land, it sends a notification to my phone, and I can record and take pictures of them. But it also like annoys my kids when they're like, "Oh, look at that crow," and I'm like, "Guys, that's a common grackle. Jeez, like, what are you doing?
Perspective, people.
Get it together."
My partner.
It looks like this. I can't believe I'm holding my phone up. It's that weird little Merlin guy right there.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
My partner uses Merlin because he's very into birds. He's
into all wildlife.
And he's an interventionist. This morning
Oh, God.
we have snapping turtles, and the babies are coming out, and they're making their voyage to the pond. And he's been out every morning gathering them and taking them to the pond. And I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. He was like, I just want to make sure they get there safely. And I'm like, but it's important for them to do themselves.
About the journey.
This morning I couldn't find him, and he was literally on all like hands and knees, like combing through the grass trying to find these baby turtles. And I was like, you are insane.
Oh, no.
Is everybody going by themselves?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to plan it to go with Charlie at the same time so we land at the same time.
Maybe we like meet up. So I know that to get to Santiago, Houston and Miami have direct flights. So maybe we like meet in one of those places and do our layovers from there.
Oh.
I'll be flying from Houston.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
See, and that's
Maybe we can
another
all
thing
just
we
meet in
could
Houston
coordinate
then.
is like layovers. If we're going to be on the same layover or whatever, we can meet up. You know, you don't want to see me while I'm traveling. It's not pleasant, but okay.
I do get
we'll
fearful for her safety quite often.
I don't yell at any
flight.
gate agents like some people, but I do get really like overwhelmed sometimes. So
I'm going
And then I
to
fall
Josh, are you
asleep.
the only
so I won't
guy?
be late for anything.
Josh is like, he's used to this.
Yeah, I think I'm the only guy for now. I do know one guy who's been thinking about it, but
You know who'd be great? Bob Mata. Oh my God.
I'm not traveling with Bob Mata.
No.
That's not happening.
It would be
You guys listen
so
to the
funny.
Defense Diaries? Bob is hilarious. He is
I love
hilarious.
his accent. I love his
Yes.
Chicago accent. It's fabulous.
But it can be a lot after 8 hours
That's
of
true.
him talking.
That's true.
Yeah.
One night for Bob, and then we
So-
go back home.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
What So as podcasters, what is your experience of the percentage of men to women in true crime?
Oh gosh, like
It's
mm,
like 1585.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what my stats usually show from
Wow.
various apps, because they're all tracking all your data, and so the apps will show us kind of our split, and it's oh yeah, at least 85% women, and
Yeah.
I think the most I've ever had like for men is actually skewing was my husband's podcast, but it was more like dad jokes, so I guess men like that more, but it was still predominantly women.
Yeah, unsafe spaces was like had a higher percentage, but I think it was just because it was gay men probably. And then
Right.
true crime bullshit is a little bit higher, and I think it's just the, like outdoorsy component of it.
Dakota and the other Josh brought it all.
Yeah.
Well, and honest to God, I mean, for Keys to be so fucking equal opportunity, like he didn't give a shit who he killed. He just like killing, and like, oh, men for like cis straight men for the first time have to be worried about their safety with this new breed of serial killer. It doesn't surprise me that it might turn a head or two.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it sucks. Like, sorry, yeah, but we're not talking about.
Mostly men
It's
listen to
Israel
mine.
Keys. He's a horrible, horrible man.
He really is.
Yeah.
I have a smooth voice. I get talked to a lot about that.
Well,
You
hey,
get talked what?
Sorry. I was just going to say the reason I ask is that I've been in finance for 25 plus years. So data, statistics, facts are like in my wheelhouse.
Oh, cool. You'd be a good trivia partner then. Maybe we could find a trivia night.
I was thinking about that. That's a really good question. And I pondered that because, so sorry, all the noise. I think my own personal belief kind of is that, especially like women generally, we feel we're always looking, we're always scanning, we're always hyper vigilant. And I think that true crime is a way that our Freudian interest in diabolical acts makes us, we're able to imbibe it, but also feel safe while doing so. This is my own personal belief. I think it's a way to feel safe, but also feeling the thrill of danger. Do you know what I mean? Like that's I mean, that might sound odd, but it's a way to see the things and to imbibe the things, but feel safe within our place of where we're doing that.
True crime is
that's what I
are the fairy tales for adults, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is always interesting is that we have a lot of male podcast hosts who are in true crime. Probably more percentage are hosting than we see reflected in the audience. The audience is by far, women. With the male podcast hosts is probably, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. There's so many true crime podcasts now, but I think really if you just look at like the big podcasts, it's probably 50-50.
It's real. I've never really thought about the disparity in percentages between listeners and hosts. That's wild.
I think about it all the time.
That is fascinating.
I think about it along racial lines too. I got a whole dissertation somewhere in the back of my brain on it, but I just need the time to research it.
We can talk about it on the trip.
That's
Yeah,
right.
seriously, that's a fucking
for the trip.
fascinating idea. Huh.
That's
I hadn't even thought of that.
I've never talked to, like, I know Justin Evans' origin story, but like the captain and I are close. I've never talked about how he got into it. Bob Ruff and I are close. I've never talked about how he got into it. That would be interesting conversations to have.
Yeah.
I just have to say.
Well, with Bob, I think it's so kind of on like, oh yeah, my father gave me these tapes.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
how can I use the
Oh,
tapes?
that guy. Okay, then John. The wait.
The
think
one
the
Bob,
Evans-
the Bob that
Okay.
Josh is talking about is Bob Ruff from Truth and Justice.
Yeah.
And then
And that-
our other
isn't
Bob
that
is
the-
Bob Mata from Defense Diaries.
There's two Bobs, and they're both coming to Berkshire, so we
I'm
just
not
gotta call them
going
by their
to the
full names.
Berkshires,
Bob
but-
Rupp was also he wasn't in law enforcement, but he was an investigator, fire investigator.
Yeah,
something.
fire
Yeah.
investigator.
So, I mean, that's along the same kind of lines.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
They have kind of like a natural inclination to lean into it and offer a level of insight that not like every normal person has who
Mhm.
has, I'm looking for a job in finance, you know, like that.
And then the captain's
I think
family's in law
Captain's dad
enforcement.
is a cop. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now
Exactly.
it's all making sense.
Mm.
If you're law enforcement, you're destined for the podcast.
Well, I will tell you, there is another famous podcaster who stays anonymous whose father was a pretty well-known cop. And I think he was too for a while. But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
anonymous, so I can't say anything.
I wonder if men are just more likely to start the podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
get into podcasting.
100%.
Yeah.
They also have, not to get all into it, but they also have a higher likelihood of success due to male voices we're been socialized to have them as authority in presenting things like the news. And so you can take two podcasts that are equal quality, and if a woman's voicing it, you're much less likely to get more listeners. And you can see podcast groups where people will outright ask, hey, I'm looking for a recommendation. No offense, but I don't like women's voices, so only male hosted podcasts.
Wow.
And those are allowed to stay up. And I was like, that misogyny is so ingrained in us that like the people running these podcast groups see absolutely no problem with that question. And I obviously, because I'm yelling, do see a problem with that question. But anyway,
I do too.
I could go on. I could go on about this forever.
Yeah.
I've been podcasting as a woman for a very long time here.
Just so fun to see how sexism can permeate everything.
Right.
But no, that's a great question.
Sure.
No, one of my researchers occasionally comes on the show, and every time she does, all the commentary is not like, oh, her research is incredible. It's like, oh, her vocal fry. And it's like, oh, like, fuck off. Like, she just spent 20 hours researching this, put together like a beautiful synopsis and well researched, and that's the comment you have. Like, and I get that stuff, but it's all like gay coded.
Right. Yeah, reviews are fun. They're fun.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't, because I don't podcast, but I can't imagine the bullshit that y'all get exposed to.
Well,
I do appreciate your efforts very much.
We appreciate that. Well, one of the things we do want to talk about on the trip, if anyone is interested in the behind the scenes of podcasting, after I just said how hard it is to do it as a woman, obviously I do it, but so if anyone is interested in doing like a breakout group where some of us go and we say, okay, here's how you start a podcast, here's the, technology side, is actually a lot easier than you think. The tech side is actually, it's the most overwhelming thing to start with. And then once you know it forever. And then the real work starts. But so if anyone's interested in a breakout group, we're definitely looking to do that.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm interested.
Good.
For sure.
I'm more worried about finding a story.
So many. Unless you're going to be serialized, then that might be a little difficult to build several seasons off of. But
I have like 700 cases that I could tell you about that you could do a serialized podcast on. That would at least get you a good season.
Let me be more specific. I'm very much a consumer. I'm not much of a creator. And I've known that about myself for a long time. And it's something that it's actually a choice. Like, I mean, I haven't tried to create anything in quite a while as well. But but having the nuts and bolts, absolutely. That'd be fascinating.
Very interesting.
Well, especially when I started, I would go to like Podcast Movement, and there would be like how to start a podcast seminars, and they would just be like selling you equipment, and you're like, what?
And you paid like a $300 ticket to get sold equipment at every session. Like it's definitely a thing. But there's a lot to gain from these podcast specific events. I get more out of the true crime specific events, generally speaking. But I love to talk about podcasting. I mean, we could.
The tech side is my favorite side.
Yeah. Lainey can bring pictures of her 75 microphones she has bought over the years.
True. Yes. And I do a course on it already. I'm doing one for like a Latina podcast summit and stuff to teach other like Latinx creatives how to start a podcast and kind of break into that space without kind of fear and intimidation that goes with not knowing technology. Because like Charlie said, once you know it, and then you know the mic that works for your space and all of that, and things you don't really take into consideration. You think, oh, I have to spend like $300, and you truly could start your podcast for less than $300. It doesn't have to be very cost prohibitive in that sense. The barrier to entry, truly for podcasting, you could do it from your phone if you wanted to. Would not recommend it, but you can.
Back when we started, you could. Now everybody
Haley used to do that.
People like start these brand new podcasts out of their house, like sounding like they're in a studio. And I was how did you level up so quickly? Like, I have these black walls. They're actually not black walls. They're moving blankets. They're $5 each from Harbor Freight, and a PVC pipe frame going around it. My husband connected it all for me and rigged it up because solving problems is his favorite thing. And so, I'm in a corner of my basement right now, which is why I have these bright lights on me because there's no other lights.
When I started, it was in like not a walk-in closet, just a closet, and I would like move the shirts aside and I had a moving blanket in front of me, and I would just talk into the moving blanket.
I'm telling you, closets are one of the best spaces because the hanging clothes cut down so much
natural baffling.
It's so great.
That's so cool. How you all? I'm excited. That's very cool. I love origin stories like that. That's so cool. I'm excited to learn more. That's cool.
And it's also very cool how we all kind of came together, because literally we would have never met each other or been as close as we are from a friendship perspective without podcasting, like truly. And we all have...
Oh, let me read you a message Josh put on my Facebook. I screenshotted it. So I posted something about how I used to homeschool my older kids, and they went to school, and I got bored, and I started a podcast. Oh, wait, we just head back to school, so I have to go through all those pictures first. And I said, so much has changed since then. And Josh's response was, your deadbeat kids finally going to school is the best thing to ever happen to me and podcasting.
True.
And I was like, I don't... He just called my kids deadbeats, but then it was such a sweet message. So that's a little glimpse of our dynamic that you'll get to see when we go.
I love it.
Having raised 2 daughters, I concur.
Yeah. I actually have 6 children and only 1 daughter. Those odds, but got lots
that
of
is
boys.
Absolutely perfect. 2 daughters is over the edge.
She's great. She is one. She's pretty funny, actually. I've heard a voice memo that she sent where she's just like going off, and I'm like, girl, I love you.
My daughter is a lot. She's a lot. She sends voice memos to Eric, one of our friends now, and I'm like, Eric, you shouldn't open that door because she'll just keep sending them. She's 18 and she's got a big personality.
She does.
Yeah.
Wow. I missed where everyone's from. I'm sorry.
I don't
think we even did that.
No, we didn't.
I mean,
we kind of said it a little bit.
So we've got Houston adjacent with Jennifer. I'm in the Berkshires.
Brooklyn, New York.
Oh yeah, Michaela's from Berlin, right?
I'm from Slovakia, but I live in Berlin.
Right. Okay.
At the moment, I'm in Spain.
I'm in Kansas City.
I love Kansas City.
So.
I'm just outside of Boston.
Okay.
Sweet. Oh, just outside of Boston. Cool. That's great. From Ontario, near Toronto, but I live in California.
Nice.
Oh,
we're in California.
I don't want to say
Pasadena.
fellow Canadian, but I just moved from Toronto back to Berlin. I studied in Toronto for 5 years.
Oh my gosh. Did you like it?
I love Canada.
I love Toronto.
Same.
I love Toronto too.
Fabulous.
Oh, and you say it right too. You pronounced it right.
I know.
I love that you pronounced it right.
Yeah. So I love Toronto, and I love bringing my kids. They love.
I don't think I would want to stay living in Toronto. It became very boring and gentrified. But because of I'm the interest that I have into Israel Keys is also because I'm a outdoorsy person and a hiker, and so that amazing thing about Canada that you can just drive. But I think it's anywhere in North America. For me, as a European, it's kind of different because in Europe you have people everywhere, and so the amazing thing about Canada was that I could just jump in the car, and 3-4 hours later I was at the Bruce Peninsula with just bears
and nobody around me, and then thinking, this is when Israel Keys would hit me alone. And, like end of October, raining, nobody there.
Trailheads with one car.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
when
Josh and I were in Alaska, that's pretty much the consensus was constantly, we went out to Earthquake Park, which is in Anchorage, and he said he used to stalk people there. And so I'm with Josh and the research group chatting with them, and they're like, well, we're going to go somewhere else. And I said, well, I'm going to go for a hike. Thanks for telling me about the serial killer who used to stalk people in this park and how easy it was because of this and this and this, but I'm still going to go on a hike. And the only thing that actually sent me back was, how does Alaska have such huge bugs?
Yeah.
It was I don't know. I'm like, you have such a short growing season, but it's so wet there. The bugs were just, I was slapping them away like crazy. I had to leave because it was just too much. But yeah, I was like, thanks, Josh, for making this hike so pleasant.
No, every time we drive around up in my area, which is not far from where Keys' cabin was, like you see a single car at a trailhead and you're like, oh, perfect victim. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
But that's the scariest thing of him is like the looking back on, like, I mean, we'll talk about this a lot more, but I've had a lot of weird just spatial intersections with Keys. Like the one bar that we think that he was in Manhattan. I know that bar. It's a great bar. They make a great Manhattan. Went to graduate school in Wyoming and did a lot of research in Rock Springs. And so I don't know, I haven't figured out timeline-wise if I was in the area when he was, and I hope not. But it's like the retrospect shit that's like, oh, my parents live in Olympia now. I pass the Crescent Lake exit every time I visit them. If you like Slater Kinney, they live off that exit, which I think is super cool.
Well, he was so peripatetic by design. So yeah, it's interesting and creepy, isn't it? Yeah, I actually dated a guy from Anchorage, which was crazy. Who's convinced he met him? He's like, and my ex, he was a tall dude. He summited Mount McKinley. He's like, he knows his stuff. And so he and I would go hiking down in Seward and the Kenai in 2009 and 10. And he's like, and he doesn't really know much about Israel. I was like, he's like, I met that guy. I said, pardon? He's like, I either met him at a Home Depot or at a liquor store, and he did not know that he was
both check.
And he and I were hiking in Valdez, and like a couple, we were down in Hope, like right outside Anchorage here, and it was wild. So it's freaky. You know?
No, it's fucking terrifying. And I will say, my first job out of graduate school, and this is, we'll talk about it more, but my first job out of grad school was working as a forensic psychologist in New Mexico. And weirdly enough, my first client was from Lordsburg, New Mexico, where he used Samantha Koenig's. And that is, I know I was in the same state as him at that time, but we didn't even know he fucking existed.
Yeah.
That's 2012.
I
We had no idea.
Hotel as him at the same time.
What?
In Napa, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The same week. And this was years ago before.
Ew.
And I didn't know this till I got the files and was going through the timeline, and I was like, that's the hotel we always stayed at. And I was there around that time, and a friend and I went through our Facebook photos and found our photos from that trip, and we're like, holy shit, it was the same week.
Oh my
god. Oh my god.
Did you check the background of every photo? That's why I would have been zooming on every single person in the background.
Jennifer, sorry.
I live on the edge of Sam Houston National Forest. So I've seen a lot, and I've only been here I moved from Minnesota down here about a year and a half ago, October of 22. And when I moved here, I was like, oh my gosh, all of these trails in Sam Houston National Forest. And then I listened to all of the stuff about Keys in Texas, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do those trails.
Okay, so just a random aside. So true crime bullshit got me through the pandemic. Working as a trauma therapist in New York during the pandemic was not fun. But my safe place was my local graveyard, which is a really cool graveyard. But the episode where Christina was interviewed,
Oh yeah.
I was in the graveyard.
Oh God.
Oh God, I've been like, I gotta go. I'm gonna relocate somewhere else.
It was just one of those things like, you know what? He's dead. He's fucking dead. He can't do anything right now. But it was
there might be some other one.
Copycat.
Well, that's the
Just
terrifying
boring.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I do think that, you know, people will be studying him now. But that's just the how it goes.
Is that the Sunset Park Cemetery?
No, but that's a beautiful, beautiful cemetery as well.
Cemetery before.
No, it's Evergreen. So I live in Bushwick, which is like there's Queens, and the closer you are to Queens, like Manhattan and Brooklyn have beautiful, beautiful parks, and Queens has beautiful, beautiful graveyards. But there are some great ones in Brooklyn as well, and probably Manhattan.
Bed-Stuy.
His reasoning for choosing cemeteries is actually very clever. Surprise. It's very clever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can explain yourself there.
Yeah.
It's, that's pretty wild. Yeah.
Well, thank God he didn't know about fucking ATM cards, that stupid idiot.
I know.
Like, oh, you're so smart. You couldn't figure that out. Like, I obviously have you've asked, can we have empathy for serial killers? I don't for him, but I think it's a good question to ask.
Yeah. I have less and less at the beginning. I had a lot more, but I think as I've gotten to know him better, I have less.
Well,
I think most of my empathy was really just an extension of my feelings for the people he left behind.
Yeah, of course. That's where the empathy is, and I don't know. I don't know. Psychopaths just don't. You know, the way I always tried to understand it, and when I say try to, the way I understand it is, you know, we measure cognition, we measure intelligence, and people are born on a continuum of it, and nature nurture feeds it. But I think we're like, I am overly empathetic. Like it can hurt sometimes, and that's why I had to leave Bellevue. And you know, I love my job right now, but he just wasn't. I don't know about his childhood. He says that everybody was nice and whatever, but I don't think he was born with that much empathy. I mean, for somebody to be a sadistic, like he got off on it. People are like, when I worked forensic, my friends would be like, I just want to talk to them and understand. It's like, could you ever make those choices? Like, well, no. It's like, how could you ever understand? And that's where I stand with psychopaths. But I haven't done research myself.
If it's outside of your control, like if it is a mental health issue, then like I do have some level of empathy, because I'm like, well, if you are behaving disgustingly and are rightfully so a pariah for things you have no control over, like that makes me sad. But then I guess like the flip side of that is, if he's not sad about it, why should I be?
Right. No, I mean, he knew what right and wrong was. That's why he hit himself. He just liked. I'm not going to say. I found another podcast that was looking at him. I was just curious about what they had to say, and they said something about Lorraine career, and it's something I didn't want to know, even though I suspected it. And he got off on hurting people, and that's just so gross to me. Yeah, but that's why y'all are doing such a service by talking about people. And I guess, I mean, one of my fascinations, I don't know about y'all, but there's such, like, between Christina and the woman at the football game who just had this visceral reaction to him and was like, get the fuck away from him. And then other people who, I'm curious about that reaction to him too, of people who can pick up on it versus those who don't.
I think at the baseline, at the very least, everyone thought he was weird.
Yeah.
And then some people were like, whoa, that's like a bad weird and not a quirky weird. And there was like a line there. what people saw, really. But it feels like, I don't know that anyone was like, oh man, he was the greatest guy I've ever met. Like everyone seemed to be like, there's something off about him.
Strange. Yeah.
It's interesting.
He had Kimberly and he had Tammy and he had a baby with Tammy and they're.
We have something coming that I can't talk about because now Josh and Dakota and I are all accountable to each other. But
yeah, no, that's beautiful.
A very interesting spin on all of that.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to, like, I feel like this is such a pointless thing to even mention because I can't even give context to it. But yeah, we have a very different example coming. And
so
I think
when that happens, we need to reconvene and rediscuss this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Wonderful.
This has to be like the discussion group for the podcast.
Yeah.
I think,
please, football game. I'm sorry. Can someone elaborate on that for me? I'm sorry. I just want to know. What was the football game?
Josh Hallmark, I think maybe.
It's funny. I was going to defer to you.
If you can. I don't only.
Some woman at the same time that. Oh God, why can't I think of his name? Oh, I feel like a monster. This 20-something guy disappeared from Bloomington, Minnesota. And the day before he disappeared, some woman was at a Minnesota Vikings game in town and swears to God she was seated next to him. And she came forward as a listener of the show and was like, this has been nagging at me for years. Like, I will never forget this guy. I didn't know about keys at the time or until much later, but like, I've always thought about this guy and how there was something wrong with him and he gave me the creeps and he made me so uncomfortable that I left the area. And then when I saw Keys' picture, I said, that's the guy. And she had no idea we were looking into this Minnesota case or that Keys had ties to the area. And she just was like, but I swear this was him. And we were like, well, he was a Vikings fan. We know he had yeah.
Wow. What year was that?
That's amazing.
Wow. Because I lived like half a mile from Bloomington for 12 years.
I think 2008. Eric Michael Peterson is his name. I think it was 2008.
Okay.
And Josh Hallmark, you have a lot of names floating in your head. So
Thank you.
be gentle.
We do, yeah, absolutely. And you should. Josh is one of the most organized people I know. He has binders of every single thing, but it's because there's so much he can't hold it in his head. It's not one, like I do one case per episode. Sometimes I'll do a 2-parter, but it's one case. It's all there. I don't need a binder because it's all in my short-term memory, but Josh has so much.
Well, I now have a library, which if you are coming to the
I was going to say, if you're coming, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Because we've got
a library?
A library.
I think you come to the festival, right?
50
Can we see
binders.
the library?
Yeah, there's maps. You can see the original.
It's going to be like NORAD. It's going to be like a NORAD situation. We're in.
Yeah. I actually like watch people like a hawk.
If you're interested, I actually have I am an interactive media maker, an immersive media maker, and I do a lot of digital stuff. And I have been thinking of how to make this an interactive project.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that's just something that we might talk about during the trip. Because I think that might be really digitalize it and make it an interactive, outsourced and crowdsourced project. And that might be really fun. But I know that, anyway, you all have a lot on your plates, but I can make it. I did a PhD in it, so.
Well, we've got 6 hours on a Sprinter van together. You think you can make
6 hours crossing the Andes, hoping the FBI doesn't.
That's going to be beautiful. If you haven't seen the Google photos and stuff, it's so nice.
I Google Earthed the path we're going across the Andes because I was like, I want to see how amazing this is.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
I'll be wearing anti-nausea goggles, so don't laugh at me. But I will be wearing those.
You were Googling that. I was Googling, can you drink on a Sprinter van in Chile?
Can you?
Can you?
What's the answer?
Awesome.
Clearly, we have a perfect set of skills. I love this. This
See,
is brilliant.
this is why we work. Has their strengths here.
This is why we work together so much.
Yeah,
it works out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that 6 hours is going to be incredible. Like, I am so excited for that, for what we're going to be able to get into, because we have something planned for the trip while we're going down that 6 hour fun, joyous ride. Hopefully, I'll be able to participate 100%, given my proclivity to
we'll just
being
stream you up.
Yeah, but I'm going to wear my goggles.
Have you used the patches behind you? You know them. Okay.
Yes. The patches, I'm going to have the goggles. Those work like a miracle. So I'm going to be wearing those like nonstop, because I could text in the car when I was wearing them, and I was like, hell yeah. So
I literally just went and got mine to get the name to tell you about them.
Yeah, see, they're great. I look silly. I was wearing them in JFK, and they were like,
know about these.
They're amazing.
Please. Yeah, I was just on a boat for 7 days, and I have the disembarkation sickness. If you're vertiginously orientated, then yes. So I'd love to know about these goggles.
They just like balance you out. It's so great, because they like basically like keep the horizon in your periphery and forward vision. So it's really nice. It's so helpful, because I am like just prone to it, like any type of movement, and I'll be like, okay, I'm out for 6 hours and done.
What are they called?
Like to know.
They're anti-motion sickness goggles.
Anti-motion. Okay, I have.
It's almost like is that like almost VR? That's really
they're like.
Cool. I had no idea that.
Well, the cyber sickness.
I don't need it. And nobody will make fun of you.
Yeah.
Please.
We're all gonna.
I mean, I will, but
she will, but that's fine.
I would regardless. Like, you don't even need the goggles.
Okay, well, that's a YouTube thing.
Well, it's just like one simple solution. Just don't read in the bus. Like basically, the nausea comes when your mind thinks you're standing while your body is moving, or vice versa, whatever sense. It's about like the discrepancy between the senses, where one says it telling you you're moving and the other one is telling you you're not. And so that's why it's like when you're moving in a bus, it's good to kind of watch the landscape outside, because that's when all the senses come into balance. Whereas when you're reading, your like eyesight thinks, oh, you're not moving, and so that's but your let's say your eardrum thinks you're moving, and that's when the sickness comes. So that's the same.
I won't be reading.
I'm gonna be talking to her the whole time.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go to sleep. No, I'm kidding.
You're just gonna fall asleep on me.
I just pretend to fall asleep.
I'm excited for the trip over the Andes. When they actually pitched the trip to us, they were like, they're almost talking about the 6 hours as well. You are for 6 hours. I'm like,
hours.
6 hours of mountain views? Like, are you kidding me?
You have a stop plan too in the middle of that.
Bring it on.
And it's so pretty. Like what is that called? Like the overlook or something like that they're having us stop at. It's
we'll stop
pretty.
at so that we can see the tallest peak. So it'll be amazing.
When I hear 6 hour travel trip, I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to download 6 hours worth of podcast.
You're just gonna make.
But you know what I'm gonna do instead?
Just make Josh
talk.
Josh will just give you a 6 hour podcast episode while we're crossing.
We should start marketing that, where it's just like a road trip where I'm performing live.
You're like at the front with a mic, and you just like are.
We'll sell out and have a waiting list if that was the case. Josh, you do have a question.
It's a trivia game.
Oh yeah, we
could see who knows the most, other than Josh. We do have a question on Instagram where it's a keys related question. It's if, Josh, it's obviously to you. Do you know about any submerging of the Home Depot buckets into lakes? Like if he attached them to piers, because that would be a landmark.
Look at his face.
I've always thought I thought of that as soon as I learned they're airtight and waterproof.
Yeah, I would say.
Hi, Anthony Christopher, one of our favorites.
I told him about
listen
the
to
festival.
Somewhere in the Pines, because I have a good feeling that they will be talking about that at some point.
Okay, so Somewhere in the Pines, which is more focused on caches and kill kits, we'll cover that.
That's what fascinates me too. I was so excited about that, and I love truly the way that they're laying out the show in this kind of documentarian type of layout. I love it so much. It's like it itches that scratches that itch.
Yeah. Well,
we need-
I have to go because I have to wake up early tomorrow. But I think we should do one of these again. And Charlie,
Yes, very soon.
Yeah.
Charlie will plan it for all of us and start our WhatsApp group.
And figure out the WhatsApp, whatever else.
Itinerary ready for our Houston meetup.
But I enjoy this.
This was such a great idea, Josh.
Yeah,
it was wonderful.
This really helped.
Thank you so much.
It was really nice to meet everybody.
Yes, I'm so excited.
It's lovely to meet you all.
Yeah.
And happy pre-birthday.
Yes.
Watch Hallmark.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, this is going to be a great
anything
trip.
you want, I'll make sure he finds it.
Yes.
And
we'll
it would be
see
lovely
you
to have a group chat.
Yes.
Happening.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes,
Charlie,
thank you all so much.
I'll get it going, Lainey.
Thank
I
you,
got it.
thank you.
Those of you thinking about pinning, we will do another one of these, and you can join, or maybe you'll have purchased a ticket at that point.
Yay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Please a little bit earlier for the Europeans.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe we do a
Maybe
we do a Saturday or a Sunday so that we can move it earlier in the day.
Brunch together.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do brunch. We're just all eating
We
pancakes
could
on
do
the street.
brunch.
Yeah, mimosas. It'd be cute.
Really classy.
Thanks,
All right.
lady.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Lovely to meet you all.
Bye. Have a good night.